Good morning. Time to make the coffee. Hazelnut again today with cinnamon creamer and a little bit of chocolate syrup at the bottom of the cup. So today it's going to be 71 degrees. It has really cooled off, and this week has been a very nice fall week. So I'm hoping to get a little rain tomorrow because it hasn't rained. And some of the plants in my garden are still doing okay. Some of them have reached the end of their lifespan. But I still haven't gotten out there to take care of business. I've been putzing around here in the house, trying to get things cleaned up and organized, and I just haven't felt like being outside much lately. I used to love to be outside. I don't know what that's all about, but it's like I'm in a nesting phase, if that makes any sense. Well, anyway, let's put some cream in the coffee. So I'm almost out of this creamer too. I hope it lasts till the 20th. That would be good. If not, I'll just use some soy milk and something else. You kind of have to juggle things when you're on a low income, especially in this inflationary period, which in my opinion is totally unnecessary and manufactured. But it impacts a lot of us. So anyway, let's give this a taste. Cheers. Yes, I will enjoy that this morning. The chocolate's Tirani really makes it sweet. It could be a little less sweet. So, I don't know, maybe I'm thinking I shouldn't use the creamer with it. I should just use some soy milk. Maybe I'll give that a try tomorrow. So anyway, yesterday I went to the food bank, and there wasn't a soul there. I was the only car in the parking lot, and it's not a food bank, it's a food pantry. It's a small one, and there's hardly anybody there. I've gone like a couple times. I don't go very often. But I do go when money is really, really tight, and I have to make a choice between paying the bill or spending $200 or $300 on groceries in a month. Then I'll go to the food pantry. And there's nothing wrong with that. More people should do it. I mean, if you need the help, you need the help, no matter what the reason is, whether that means buying your medication, or maintaining your house, or whatever reason you need to go. Please, I encourage you to go, and maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But for now, I'm going to enjoy my coffee, and maybe I'll get myself out into the garden. There's still time before October rolls around and we start to freeze. But a lot of times in the fall, it starts to get pretty rainy and chilly. And that's not good for people with fibro and arthritis. So anyway, I'm going to drink my coffee, and I will meet you at the budget book. Okay, here we are back at the budget book. So yesterday, again, I didn't spend any money. Money is really tight right now. I'm saving up for my window. And if you're wondering why I'm getting a new window, it's because I can't see out the front window. The seals are broken on all 4 panes, and it seriously looks like you're looking through frosted glass. So I didn't really want to get a new window, but it's necessary. And our HOA has certain standards that they want to maintain. So I don't want to be that house on the block that looks like like nobody loves it. So the window is a must, unfortunately. And that is going to be over $1,600, which is a good chunk of change. So really the only place that I have any wiggle room at all in my budget is with food. So I just thank God I had the foresight to stock up on food before this whole nonsense went about. It's just my opinion. I think it's all manufactured. Trying to get people to comply with their New World Order that they want to bring in. The Klaus Schwabs and all those people in Davos. So if you haven't read it, Glenn Beck wrote a book called The Great Reset, and it's very interesting. You might learn something about what's going on behind the scenes of all this stuff that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But anyway, I haven't been to the grocery store or grocery shopping in 6.5 weeks, trying to get this money together for the window, and I have a lot of other repairs. I already got a nastygram from the association people. The back of my house needs to be pressure washed because it's green. It's still green. A lot of you that watch me all the time know a lot of this stuff, but a lot of the newer people don't. So I'm going to just explain the method to my madness. So, and then a shutter blew off last spring that needs to be put back on. So I got a reminder about that. They want it done by October. And I figured while one shutter is down, I would just have them painted and put back up. Now the fella that's supposed to be doing it just isn't showing up. And now he's on vacation in Florida. So now I think I need to look for somebody else to get it done. But we'll see. So there's that expense. So like I said, the only place that I can save is on food. So that's why I haven't been shopping. Now I know most of you shop every week or sometimes every couple of weeks. Some of you shop once a month like I usually do. But, circumstances come up that just require you to juggle your money around. So yesterday I made the decision to go to the food bank. And that opened up a can of worms. It brought out the good, the bad, and the ugly in people, which I knew it would. But that's okay, because I just wanted to share with you how I have to juggle my money around. And there's no shame in having to use a food pantry every now and then. You're not taking anything out of somebody else's mouth. Now, if it was a food pantry where it was lined up for miles, I probably would say, no, this is just not the place for me. So the food pantry that I go to never has anybody there. At best, they maybe have a couple cars. So you have to wait in your car, and they'll bring out whatever food they have. It's sort of random. I know there's some food pantries out there. I don't have one around here that I know of where you can actually go in and pick out the food you want. But the nice young man, I asked him if he had any vegan and vegetarian food, and he was very, very nice, and that's what he gave me. And that came just in time. I was out of some of the things that I like to eat, because I'm still trying to cook down my food that I have in the freezers, because I don't want it to go bad. But you need to supplement, even if you have a freezer full of food or whatever, or a pantry. there's still things that you need to supplement every now and then. So please don't feel bad if you have to utilize a food pantry every now and then. It's okay. You know, if you need to make a car payment or, you know, from a car that you bought a few years ago and now money is really tight, then make your car payment. You know, don't take the chance of losing your car in a repo because you didn't use a food bank and you spent the money all on food. So anyway, like I said, a lot of people are very judgmental about using a food bank. You don't have to be, you know, to the point where you have absolutely no food at all in your house. It's best to just go and stock up. And even if you use it just to keep your stock up, that's okay too. So you're really not taking anything from the poor. There's plenty of food out there to go around. Like I said, this food pantry that I used, there's never anybody there. So, and apparently if they can't get rid of their food, then they might lose their I don't know, whatever it is. So anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. So I'm going to continue to not spend money on food as long as I can so that I can get my other bills paid. And that's just the way it's going to be. And if I need to use the food bank, food pantry, then I will do it again. And like I said, don't feel ashamed if you have to do that. There's no shame in it at all. The food just gets thrown out if they can't distribute it. So anyway, I just wanted to chat a little bit about that and what my strategy is for paying my other bills that need to be paid. I don't want my house repoed. I don't want my car repoed. I bought those in better times, and I intend to hang on to what I can as long as I can. And if that means juggling money around, then that's what I'm going to do. So, all right. I don't plan on going anywhere or spending any money today either. So, anyway, I will be back in a little bit after I drink my coffee. Right, this morning for breakfast, I have a lovely bagel from the food bank. I'm very happy to have that. I didn't have any more buns. I didn't have any more bagels. So that came in very handy. Then over here, I have 2 Impossible burgers out of the freezer. I have this Follow Your Heart American vegan cheese that was also in the freezer, and it seems to be okay. So I guess you can freeze that. It seems to be a nice texture. So if you have cheese that's going to be going bad, go ahead and freeze it. Sometimes it changes the texture on the cheese. So in this pan, I have a little bit of cooking spray. It's mesquite flavored. And here I have a blend of, I found this recipe in one of the Dollar Tree magazines that I've had. And it's for lean homemade sausage. So for breakfast, I wanted to make a sausage-like sandwich. So these are the seasonings I put on. Plus I added a little bit of garlic powder and onion powder. And I use seasoning salt instead of regular salt, so we'll see how they taste. All right, there's today's breakfast, using up what I have, and my blessing from the food pantry. Okay, so here's my breakfast this morning. These Impossible burgers are usually like $6.99 or more if you buy them, a regular price. But I got these for $3.99 and stuck them in the freezer. So here I used to like Dijonnaise, but they don't make it anymore, so I tried to make my own, and it's just mustard and mayonnaise together. So that's breakfast this morning, and then I seasoned it with this sausage-like seasoning. And I made another one for another meal. So there is breakfast, or brunch. Well, good morning. I'm still drinking my coffee, so I'll say cheers this way. Cheers. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about why I started this channel. Now, I started this channel back in the days where financially I was in a much better place. I was still married at the time and shared the bills with my husband. And when that fell apart, well, of course, the financial situation totally changed. We both sort of paid the bills, and we had different diets. So I bought my food, he bought his food. I would cook for him whatever he bought, but he was a meat eater, I'm a vegetarian, so we kept that separate. He paid the utilities, I paid the taxes, the house insurance, anything that had to do with the house, because he moved into my house actually with his two daughters. So they went away to college, and then we were married 6 years, but that's not what this chat is all about. So financially, I was on his health insurance. I actually paid him to be on his health insurance. So it wasn't a freebie for me either, because he already had a family plan because he had the two daughters. So the health insurance was much cheaper than my Medicare supplementary insurance is now. So that cost went way up. And of course, I had to pay for the utilities then. So, and I had retired when I was still married, with the thought in mind that, we have two incomes, we would have been just fine. So, anyway, I had to learn to juggle my money, and I've gotten pretty good at it. So, I mean, some people say, oh, but you have a really nice car, oh, you have a nice house, and blah, blah, blah. But yes, I do, and I want to keep them. So I don't want to move. That would be an option. But I'm comfortable here. I have enough room here. My 3 dogs are comfortable here. I live near my daughter. I don't want to move. I had this house built with the thought of my retirement in mind. So if need be, I can live on 1 floor. I don't need to use the upstairs or the basement. I have everything I need on this floor other than a shower, and I do have a half bath here that it would be possible to put a small shower in that half bath if need be. Anyway, my whole financial situation changed, and not for the better. So a lot of people will say, well, why don't you get a job doing this or get a job doing that? Well, it's not that easy. If you have medical conditions where you really can't hold a full-time job, or a part-time job where you're on your feet all the time, or even sitting all the time, that probably isn't the best thing for you. So I started this YouTube channel a few years ago with the thought in mind that it would be fun for first of all, I enjoy doing it a lot. And secondly, with the hope in mind that maybe it would provide a little extra income for me. Well, if I were to figure out how much I make an hour doing YouTube videos that I do every day, and I spend quite a bit of time doing my videos, it would probably come to less than $1 an hour. So the most I've made so far on YouTube is $150. You know, big whoopee. That's not going to help me a whole heck of a lot. But anyway, you know, some people think, oh, you have a YouTube channel, you're rolling in the money. Yeah, if you maybe have thousands of subscribers and, you know, you can make good money on YouTube. But my little piddly-poo channel isn't setting the world on fire. So anyway, so much for my YouTube income. It's far from paying much in the way of bills. So anyway, I wanted to talk about yesterday's video where I went to the food bank. So, like I said, it brought out the good, the bad, and the ugly in people, that's for sure. Most of you are so kind, you know, you really get it because a lot of you are in that same situation. Some people just don't get it. You know, they think, oh, you're taking the money away from the poor or the food away from the poor. Poor people could use that. But they don't really understand how a food pantry works. In this society, nobody should be going hungry. Nobody should be homeless. But the way things are going, it's getting worse and worse and worse. So if you need to juggle your bills because you're falling short on things that you bought when times were good, then that's what you need to do. You know, and even if you have a food stash, you don't want to deplete that because the way things are going, it's not going to get better anytime soon that I can see. One would hope, but you do not want to deplete your food stash. You don't want to make it so that when you open your refrigerator, there's nothing in it. When you open your pantry, it's bare. When you open your freezer, you know, you have maybe some green beans and some corn in there. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you stock enough food that if something happens, what if the grid goes down, which is a possibility. There's so many people, you know, doing bad things because they're lazy and they don't want to work. So they scam other people. You just have to protect yourself. You know, now I'm not fear-mongering and I'm not doing anything like that. I'm just being cautious and I'm suggesting that maybe you get a little extra food in your house. If you live in a place where there's a bad winter, you might not be able to get out, especially if you're older, and buy food. Or you may not be able to get out because you're sick. Maybe you have help, maybe you don't. You know, you can maybe send somebody to pick up a few groceries, but and then of course there's the cost of the food nowadays. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, you used to, let's say you had $150 food budget for the month, which is pretty low, but now $150 is gone like that. You can't even buy everything that you need. But if you have a stash and you can restock it, then, you know, that's the best way to go, in my opinion. So don't let other people's opinions of using the food bank discourage you or shame you or anything like that, because it's not necessary, But you're always going to have those people that, well, I would do it this way and I would do it that way, but they don't walk in your shoes. They don't know your circumstances. And you shouldn't judge. There's the old saying, judge not, lest you be judged. So, there are people out there that scam the system. We know it. But you going to the food pantry now and then isn't going to change that. And you're not scamming the system by doing that. So, I would encourage you to please, you don't have to be living in squalor to use a food pantry. Please use your food pantry, and whether it's because you couldn't afford to go grocery shopping for a couple months, because you have bills coming up, or insurance coming up, or whatever your reason, that is your business. Now sometimes I talk a lot about my life and my lifestyle and what I do to help save money. And the reason I do that is because I want to help people. Like I said, I do have a nice house. I do drive a nice car. And I want to keep them, and I don't want to get to the point where I have to say, I can't make my car payment, or whatever, or I can't pay the taxes on my house. Here in the area where I live, we have very good schools, and the taxes are rather high on the house insurance and the car insurance. It's not cheap. And yeah, I could sell my car, or I could, but why would I do that? The car is almost paid for. Why on earth would I sell my car and go out and get a junker? That just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, that's the main reason why I like to share my lifestyle with other people. Because I think that for the amount of income that I get every month, I do okay. But it's getting to be a struggle. It's getting to be really hard. Everything is going up. Food, utilities, our electric bill went up by, I forget how many percentages. In the summer, I don't even run my air very often because it's too expensive. I don't go on vacations. I don't go out to eat hardly anymore. I don't do a lot of things because I can't, at this point in time, I can't afford to do that. So I have to think of alternative things, and those are the things that I want to share with other people. And if you don't like it, why are you here? That's all I can say. So anyway, I'm going to enjoy my coffee, and hopefully you're all doing okay. And like I said, don't listen to those people. One person even said, why are you feeding your grandson with that stuff? There's stuff in the box that they give you that I don't eat that he likes. Most of the time he doesn't like what's in the food boxes because he's not vegetarian. And he buys his own food, he does his own thing. I do not support my grandson, and he doesn't support me either, and I don't want that. So, but it's like, really? Can you get any more petty than that? If there's something that he does like the garlic toast, of course I'm going to share it with him. That is just ridiculous. So anyway, there are some petty people out there, but I don't listen to them because they have their life. I'm sure they have their problems. They can solve them the way they see fit, and I'm going to continue to live my life the the way I see fit, without any shame, and you gotta do what you gotta do to survive in this life. So we all need to be a little less judgmental and a little kinder to each other, and that's my opinion. If you don't agree with that, I'm perfectly fine if you leave me a comment below if you think differently. That's just me. You're entitled to your opinion as well. So anyway, I'm going to finish my coffee, and I'll be back later, whether it's to sign off or to do something else. I don't know. All right, I'll be back. All right, time for a cup of afternoon tea. Cheers. So my whole purpose of creating this channel, not only for fun, not only for a little extra income, was to create a place where we can exchange ideas of how to live a frugal and abundant life, as opposed to an unhappy life where you have a poor man's perspective on everything. That's not a good place to be. And I think even if you don't have a lot, you can still live a happy life. At least that's my opinion. If you have a different opinion, please let us know in the comments below. So I'm open to new ideas. So if you have ideas that you'd like to share about what you would do differently, you don't have to agree with me on everything. That's perfectly fine. What you would do differently, or maybe suggest some tips and things that you would do. But my whole thought is figuring out how a lot of us can stop the slide downhill into poverty, because we certainly don't want that. So many of us need to do whatever it is that we need to do to maintain, and some things you have to give up, of course, and some things that really mean a lot to you, you have to figure out how you're going to keep them. So if that means juggling around your bills, or for me, it has to come from my food budget. Oh, sorry about that. Lizzie had her 2 cents she wanted to put in there. So anyway, as I was saying, any wiggle room that I have has to come from my food budget. There's nowhere else to pull it from. And like you guys know, I'm paying off some debt, and I'm working to do that, because my ultimate goal is to not have any debt and just live with the money that I have. Now, I haven't used a credit card other than Amazon. I do use their card because you get the perks, but there really isn't much of a balance on there other than the chair that I bought. So, but I haven't used a credit card in probably a good 2 years, I would say. If I don't have it in my checking account, then I just don't buy it. So, but I'm trying to get even better at that, because the faster I pay off my bills, which is the car, and well, it's going to be the roof now too. The window I can pay for, the repairs, hopefully I can pay for those. But the quicker I get everything paid off, the better off I'll be. And I can get back to a more normal shopping, and but you know, that's for down the road. And I'm not complaining at all. Things are working out just fine. I've gotten, like I said, pretty good at juggling money around. And if that includes going to the food bank once in a blue moon to help out, then I'm going to continue to do that. Now, I don't want to go every week or, every month, because our food bank is you can only go once a month. But I qualify with my income to go to a food bank. And if you're struggling, see if you qualify with your income to go to a food bank as well. And then if you need to, go ahead and go. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about the food bank. If your opinions differ than mine, well, we'll just agree to disagree. That's fine. So, but that's all I have for you today, my friends. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you. And I'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. It helps my channel grow. Thanks for watching.